ETU wrestling fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Summer Madness 3, which has become a staple and basically one of the bigger shows of Expect the Unexpected Wrestling's calendar year, definitely did not disappoint. We started out with Braden Toon coming to the ring. He was going to have a match with Conan Lycan, but he was unable to make the show. But out came the American author, Devious Cass, and they had a match right then and there. At one point, Devious, I think, got caught up in the top rope, and Braden, at one point, he was standing on the second rope, and he has Devious Cass up, and he actually gave him the Dino Bravo move on the top, not off the top, on, dropping his back on the top turnbuckle. Of course, for those of you who are old enough to remember who the late Dino Bravo was, you know that was his finisher was actually what the late Gorilla Monsoon referred to as a side suplex, but years later when Kevin Nash came along, they called it a sidewalk slam. Every time somebody hits that move, whether it's on a turnbuckle, off the top rope, or just on the mat, I always yell, "The Dino Bravo move!" Forgot how this one ended, but Braden Toon defeated the American author Devious Cass at 6 minutes 57 seconds. Second matchup was a battle of expected members in what was billed as a test of heart, as Matt Mako went one-on-one with Ikuro Kwan, who previously wrestled by the name of Tristan Tai in the past. I don't know if Ikuro Kwan is his real name or not. These guys had a great matchup. Ikuro Kwan defeated Matt Mako at 13 minutes 23 seconds. Up next was a women's matchup, as we saw Lana Cross take on the Kick Demon Janai Kai. A very good matchup. Forgot exactly how this one ended. Was it a submission or not? But Janai Kai defeated Lana Cross at 8 minutes 11 seconds. Hopefully Janai Kai will get that match with Becca, which she was supposed to have at Summer Madness 3, but Becca's on a world tour. Okay, next was a tag team action. It was set to see Cashflow, Ken Broadway, and a mystery partner do battle with the expected members, Gabriel Sky and Austin Luke. Broadway hits the ring, Sky and Luke attack him right away before the bell even rings, but then out comes Alec Price, who had not been seeing ETU for about a year, and what a match these guys had. And if you were not at the show, watch the replay on IWTV. This was another great event. The action was really hot and heavy, and at one point Matt Mako and Ikuro Kwan come out, and they're outside the ring. At one point, all four members of the expected are out on the floor. Broadway hits the ropes, looking to do a dive out to the floor, but Alec Price super kicked Broadway, and apparently Alec Price has joined the expected. He had taken the microphone. He said, I hadn't been here for been on the shows for about a year, and I've missed out on seeing this company grow. And he said, remember who was among those? I was among those who planted the seeds. I forgot what else he said. I don't remember all these promos, because once these shows go in the books, it's just like Puddle of Mud. Everything's so blurry. Eventually, the rest of the Killionaires Club, Jay Bougie and Pretty Boy Smooth, they come out, and the expected, they said they want to tear the ETU down, and they said, give us your 5 best. And Bougie and Smooth save Broadway, and I forgot what else. I forgot what they said. They said something on the microphone. And at that point, they go to intermission. They come back from intermission. We resume with a four-corner survival match, as it was BK Westbrook versus Junie Underwood versus Ultra Jaguar versus the Big Woofa. Desmond Cole made his return to ETU for the first time in a while. Desmond Cole ended up defeating Ultra Jaguar, Jamie Underwood, and BK Westbrook at 7 minutes 28 seconds. If I didn't mention it earlier, Gabriel Sky and Austin Luke defeated Ken Broadway and Alec Price at 15 minutes 16 seconds. And, Desmond Cole then took the microphone after winning his four-way matchup, and he says that he had like a torn ACL and he was out of action for 6 months. And he said he wants to get to the top of ETU, but then out comes the intense icon, Joshua Bishop, and he says, Hardway Sam Holloway, who I was supposed to wrestle, had a little knee injury and he couldn't wrestle, so Bishop offered to fight Desmond Cole right then and there for the actual key, which will unlock a title opportunity to the key to the East Championship at any time. So the match was on. Joshua Bishop defeats Desmond Cole at 6 minutes 14 seconds. Hold that thought. Okay, from there we had Okay. Up next, it was the Atlantic Tag Team Championship on the line, as we saw Dive Bomb, Diego Hill, and the Dreadlock Demolition Machine Bojack. Say that 3 times fast, folks. Collectively known as the High Flyer Star Machines. High Flying Star Machines, and they did battle with the Killionaires Club, Pretty Boy Smooth, and Jay Bougie. I gotta say, these two teams really took it to each other, and definitely having both Bojack and Pretty Boy Smooth, it was a case, when both of them were butting heads, it was a case of monsters collide. At one point, Smooth actually scooped up Bojack for a body slam. Not the best looking body slam, but he did get him up and slam him. Jay Bougie and Pretty Boy Smooth defeat High Flying Star Machines at 15 minutes 17 seconds to retain the Atlantic Tag Team Championship. And after the match, he came in after he actually came along during the matchup. Cashflow Ken Broadway. Bougie took the microphone and he was saying, they still can't fight. The High Flying Star Machine, that is. But he said, pretty much made the announcement, because they said they had an announcement to make, because they said it was the original Summer Madness 2 years ago when the Killionaires Club first came together. And Bougie announced to the crowd that they're going to have pretty much their own show as ETU Wrestling and the Killionaires Club present I Really Mean It, which is taking place on Sunday, September 28th. I'll get back to that one a little bit, folks. Next matchup, we saw the shooter Joseph A. Game Alexander challenge the young prodigy Marcus Mathers for the IWTV Heavyweight Championship. Marcus Mathers bounced back nicely from losing the ETU Championship to Mike Santana back at Whatever It Takes back in May, as Marcus Mathers defeated Joseph Alexander at 15 minutes 41 seconds. After the match, Mathers took the microphone and he said he doesn't want to miss an ETU show unless he has to. He mentioned that the night before he wrestled like all the way in Paris, and said he got to the building like 10 minutes after he got to the building. He put on his gear and came to the ring. And Mathers told Joseph Alexander that someday he'll rule ETU and the independents. And then it was time for the main event, as we saw Calvin Tankman challenge the Key to the East champion Mike Santana. Pretty good matchup, which saw Mike Santana defeat Calvin Tankman at 17 minutes 19 seconds to retain the heavyweight championship, rounding out a great outing of ETU wrestling, a great summer madness. I will say definitely going down as one of the best ETU shows ever, especially considering how great Summer Madness 2 was last July. The show ended just before 7:30 p.m. The show didn't start on time. You know, I actually took the bus down, and I walk in the building and I sit down. It's 4:01 p.m. and the show had yet to start. It was supposed to start 4 o'clock. I just wish ETU, when you run shows on Sunday, I wish you could start at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. But as I mentioned, the show didn't start on time. I did notice, crowd was a little, there was more of a crowd compared to Whatever It Takes back in May. This is the second ETU event that didn't start on time. In a row, it didn't start on time. There was a good-looking lady in the crowd wearing leopard pants. The dudes sitting in front of me, you know, they seemed to really were into this show and said a lot of things. There were parts of throughout the show. Every time someone was going to do a dive right by us, we had to like just move our chairs out of the way. I just stayed in my chair and just moved it, just gave everybody space to do the dives and shit. Shit. Okay, well, as mentioned earlier, ETU Wrestling and the Killionaires Club present I Really Mean It on Sunday, September 28th. Unfortunately, because football season will be in session by the time the show takes place, I will not be there. Struggles, ETU, please. In December, could you do the anniversary show on a Friday or a Saturday? Because if you do it on a Sunday like you did last year, I'm not going to go. I don't do Sunday shows during football season. But it should be interesting to see where everything, considering the fact Conan Lycan, Sam Holloway could not make the show. Becca was supposed to face Jedi Kai, and she couldn't do it because she was on a world tour. So I'm guessing they'll fight again somewhere down the line. Maybe, if not September 28th, maybe the anniversary show in December. This one young lady I have on Instagram, she was waiting at the bus with me at Port Authority, and she was wondering if she was right, and she and I didn't really talk, but I've been following her on Instagram for some time. We just got much interaction. Don't know if she's ever watched my videos either. Now the expected has grown by one more member. Still think ETU Wrestling should come have a show in the New York City area someday. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a pain in the ass to travel from New York City to Ridgefield Park, because considering this, apparently the NJ Transit apparently raised the bus fare again to go from New York to Ridgefield Park. It used to be, I remember it was about $4.50 Then it was raised up to $5.15. Now it's up to $5.30. That's just one way. Also, on the way home, there was a problem with the subway train I was on. It reached one of the stations, and the doors wouldn't open up. And they decided to put the train out of service and let everybody out. And I didn't get home till after 10 p.m. Wish, I guess, again, ETU, I wish you'd come to a show. Not only, come to a show in the New York area. Okay, I guess that'll do it. ETU, Summer Madness 3 was tremendous. Who knows what Summer Madness 4 is going to bring next year. And who knows what I Really Mean It on Sunday, September 28th is going to bring, even though I won't be there. But I will say, ETU, ETU, ETU.